solving absolute value fractions. Now first we're going to start up with this example. It's 10x plus 5 inside the absolute value equals 15. Okay, now in simple equations, in simple fractions, we were just able to eliminate or just subtract 5 from both sides, get 10x alone and then divide by 10. But here we have the absolute value. We have to first remove the absolute values. And now what we do in this kind of absolute value equations, we remove the absolute values in such a way. We remove it and we say 10x plus 5 equals 15. And then we just plug in, or we say 10x plus 5 equals negative 15, okay? Now, why is that? Why can we do this? This is mad. We cannot just, play with those things. Now I'm going to explain why can we do this. Because take a look now. 10x plus 5, if 10x plus 5 equals to 15, the absolute value will make it 15 and we have a true equation, okay? And if 10x plus 5 equals negative 15, only 10x plus 5, not the absolute values, 10x plus 5 equals negative 15, then the absolute values will remove this negative and will make it 15 too. So two different things can make this whole thing 15, either 15 or negative 15, right? You get it? Because if inside the absolute value we have negative 15, then we get 15 again, and that's true. If we have 15 alone and inside the absolute values, the absolute value removes and gives us 15 again. So what we do is just divide the equation into two parts, remove the absolute value, divide it into two parts, and then solve for x, as simple as that. Now what we do in this first equation, we just subtract 5 from both sides. We get 10x equals to 10. We get 10x equals to 10 and x equals 1, dividing 10 from both sides. Okay, great. Now the second one is simple. So 10x plus 5, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. We get negative 20. Negative 20 divided by 10, negative 2, so x equals negative 2. Okay, that's what we do. Now this is just some simple absolute value equations. I just want to show the logic of it. Now if you get it, why we can divide it into two parts, it's super simple. Then you can do all. Okay, now let's go. Now the simple answer for us is going to be x equals 1 or equals negative 2. So x equals 1 or x equals negative 2. Okay, now great. This was just a simple one. Let's go and solve one more. Typically kind of harder one. Okay, now it's 5 times the absolute value of 10x plus 3 equals 15. It's just kind of the same, just we have this little 5 here. So now we cannot divide the absolute value. We cannot remove the absolute value and divide the equation into two parts because we have this 5 there, not inside the absolute value, and that's a problem. We have to first get rid of that 5, only the absolute value. Okay, so simply we can divide both sides by 5. Yep, we can divide both sides by 5, and we get absolute value of 10x plus 3 equals to 3. 15 divided by 5 gives us 3. 5 divided by 5 gives us 1. We don't have to write that. Okay, so great. Now 1 10x plus 3 equals to 3. The absolute value of course. Now we can simply divide the equation into two parts. Okay, let's do that. We have 10x plus 3 equals 3. We have or 10x plus 3 equals negative 3. So either this 10x plus 3 should equal to 3 or it should equal to negative 3, right? So why is that? Because take a look. If inside the absolute value we have a 3, we get 3 removing the absolute values. If we have a negative 3, the absolute values will make that negative 3 at 3 and we will get the answer 2. So two different answers can actually be inside here. Either 3, either negative 3. Both of them will be true. Okay, now solving up, 10x equals 0 because we subtract 3 from both sides. So we get 3 minus 3, 0, and we get 3 minus 3 from the other side, which makes 0 again. We get 10x equals to 0. What times 10 makes 0? Of course 0, or just divide 10 from both sides. You get 0 over 10, and that's 0, okay? x equals 0. Great. Now, the next one, subtracting 3 from both sides will give us -6. Of course, we get 10x equals -6. What is the value of x? The value of x is -6/10. Of course, dividing 10 from both sides. Dividing 10 from both sides will give us -6/10.